Hey guys, this is Andre from Wealthy Neighbor. Hope you're all doing well. So in this video, we'll do a brief review and analysis about the book The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Please take a minute to read our disclaimer, and if you agree with all the terms and conditions, let's go. First, for those of you who are not familiar with this book, we'll talk about what is it about, then discuss its main ideas, and finally get to some comments and analysis about it, what I was able to learn from it, and what I liked and I disliked. So keep in mind that this is my personal opinion and yours might be different. So, the compound effect. What is this book about? The author says that hard work in the right way pays off over time, and there is no other reliable way to be successful. The author goes on by saying that many of us have forgotten the importance of hard work to achieve something in life, and we just expect those magic formulas and products to do all this for us, take us from one point to another with minimum effort. Then we are given this question: would you rather have 3 million now or get one magic penny that doubles its value every day over 31 days? What would you rather have? So to answer this question, I calculated how much the magic penny would be worth after 31 days. After 31 days, the magic penny that doubles in value every day will be worth more than $10 million, whereas 3 million will be 3 million all the time. So based on this chart, what would your answer be? As you can see in the chart, over the majority of time, all the way from 1 to more or less 25 days, the magic penny is not worth that much compared to the 3 million. And around the 29th day, its value is almost as much as the first option, the 3 million. And finally, on the 3rd and the 31st day, we can see that the magic penny's value is almost 3 times the 3 million. But throughout the initial 25 days, it was not even close. So many people don't like to wait. Keep in mind that an investment that doubles in value every day is something that does not exist. But if we calculate the future value of a present amount over time, given an interest rate, this is more or less the tendency we'll get. Of course, the time interval will be longer than 31 days, and the interest rate will be smaller than 100%. You get the idea. Many people don't like to wait. Many people would rather to have the money right now instead of waiting for some time until they get the money. In this next chart, we can see the penny daily change over the first 20 days. Remember that the magic penny's value is doubling every day. From the 25th to the 31st day, the growth in value is much more noticeable than in the beginning. And that's all thanks to what is called the compound effect in finances. This is how compound interest works. This is why we should start investing as soon as we can. And this is also why we should pay our debts as soon as we can, to make sure the compounding is working for us. Now back to the book. The author's idea is to apply this compound interest concept to all different areas of life. For example, health, love life, wealth, or success in general. And the author calls this the compound effect. In order to harness the compound effect, we should first make the right choices with the right motivation. Then we need discipline to reinforce productive habits and keep doing things day in, day out until we get momentum going for us. This is equivalent to the daily change of the magic penny from day 25 to day 31. This is when we start seeing the results, which are very small in the beginning. And third, Do not slack off just because you are starting to get successful, because if you do that, you kill your momentum and you have to start again from zero. So one more time, how to make the compound effect work for us. First, we need some strong motivation that comes from meaning, core values, and purpose. This motivation will first allow us to track our lives, observe our actions and choices, and measure them. And by doing that, we get to know what we are doing right and wrong and what we are not doing to reach our goals. Once we know ourselves a little bit better, we can start to mind about our habits concerning health, wealth, sports, education, relationships, and so on. Habits that you should be doing and should not be doing. Habits that are good for you and habits that are bad for you. For example, do you eat fast food on a regular basis? Do you eat some salad or greens every meal? Are you able to save some of your money every month, or do you buy things you don't need? If you want to become a top performer athlete, are you practicing enough or are you slacking off? If you want to become a well-known academic, do you read enough papers every day? And if you want to nurture your relationship with your significant other or your kids, do you pay attention to their needs? Or do you take them for granted? So once we start tracking our lives, we'll build awareness towards these habits, big or small, and we will finally be able to reinforce or implement good ones and cut out bad ones. And once we know what we have to do, this is where consistency takes place. So we always have a choice. We can choose to eat fast food or we can choose not to eat fast food. Over time, this choice becomes a behavior, then a habit, then a routine. At first, it was really hard not to eat fast food, and it took a great effort. But once we develop a routine and it gets into rhythm, things start to get easy, even though we may not see the concrete results yet. After some time, we get in this so-called state of flow. It does not take that much effort to reject fast food anymore. We don't crave for it, and we might even pick a healthy meal instead of fast food. Of course, throughout this evolution, we are always vulnerable to external influences that come from different inputs, what we read and what we hear. Friends, family, virtually anyone we associate with, and also our environment. So we have to be careful about the external influences and make sure they are leading us towards our goal and not derailing us. And after you've done this for enough time, you'll see that at some point you'll hit a wall and have a choice. You can either give up and go back to your old self, or you can persevere. You can keep fighting and climb that wall. And this here is what separates the successful people from the unsuccessful people. So exceed, dare to go beyond yours and everyone else's expectations. Challenges are opportunities for you to prove yourself and for you to get ahead of the competition. And this is how the compound effect works. Now let me show you guys the book's main ideas. So the compound effect, what we have been discussing, and the ripple effect. The ripple effect says that our actions can have completely unexpected outcomes that affect not only us but all the people that surround us. Personal responsibility. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. So everything that's going on in your life right now is all your responsibility. It's all because of a choice you made at some point in time, and the sooner you realize this and stop blaming others or victimizing yourself, the sooner you get control over your destiny. Measurement, tracking, the importance of knowing yourself. This is what will tell you what you have to change and how you have to change to become what you want to be. Changing habits, motivation, why power. So the author defines why power as something more powerful than willpower. This why power comes from your core values and your sense of meaning and purpose. This why power is what will keep you going through all those hard times in which you think it's easier to give up than keep working hard. If you want to get healthier, being fit is not as good as a motivation than being around to take care of your children. Or if you want to make your business succeed, buying a BMW is not as good as a motivation as proving someone that don't believe in you wrong. So the right motivation help us changing habits and keep going, keep doing what is needed to be done. Momentum comes from consistency. So it's not enough to change something and keep doing it for 1 week, 1 month, or even 1 year. We have to be willing to do it for 10, 20, or 30 years so we can see the compound effect taking place, leading us to higher heights. Regarding external influences, you must have heard the expressions, you are what you eat and you are what you read. So here, you are what you tolerate. If you tolerate being disrespected, people will disrespect you. If you tolerate when people are late, people will keep making you wait. If you tolerate watching those news in the media about murderers and disasters and all this negative stuff, your mind will be negative. So even though you can't control the external influences themselves, you can control how you expose yourself to them and how they will affect you. And once you get the momentum going, you can accelerate it by going the extra mile. The author says that working a little bit harder beyond what you were supposed to work, its effect is not additive, but rather it multiplies all of your previous efforts. So doing more than what you were expected to do will make the compound effect work even faster. So after reading this book, I got amazed about how this author was able to put together so much pieces of a philosophy that if presented otherwise would make people look away, because we all know that it takes hard work to succeed on a regular basis. Some people may land one or two lucky strikes here and there, and by lucky I mean really lucky, and not need to work hard at all. But face it, if we want consistent results, we have to be willing to work hard. Even though I disagree with some things the author pointed out, which we'll discuss later, I think he did a really good job in showing people what it takes to be successful. That is not easy, that it takes commitment and time. So the main idea of the book is to apply the compound effect from finances in all areas of our lives. But the compound effect in money can be measured due to interest and inflation rates. So using the future value formulas and a lot of hypotheses, we are able to forecast how much the money we have right now will be worth in the future. But it's really hard to apply it or track its effect in other areas like health, athletics, or love life. Of course, if you stop eating fast food for a really long time, you will lose weight. But this is kind of a leap of faith. This is not something you can guarantee as in finances. So what the author is really trying to accomplish is that you get out of your comfort zone and start making changes in your lifestyle if you're not satisfied with it. It doesn't matter if you may or may not reach your goals due to the compound effect itself, but by starting and changing bad habits and installing good habits in your life, you will definitely have a better life. At a point in the book, the author gives us a compound effect example using pro golf player performance and earnings. So this picture was taken from the book. I don't know when these statistics are from, but here we have the number one golf player, Tiger Woods, with an average score of 68.1. And number 10 pro golf player, Scott Verplank, with an average score of 70. And in the bars, we have their earnings as championship prizes. So Tiger Woods has more than 10 million, and Scott Verplank has 2 million. So in golf, the lower your average score, the better, because it means you're able to complete the 18-hole course in less strokes. Here we have the performance difference of 1.9 stroke between number 1 and number 10, which is 2.7%, which leads to a earnings difference of around 5 times or 500%. So the author goes and says that this is an example of the compound effect, how a small difference in performance can lead to a much bigger difference in earnings. But guys, come on, is this really true? How much effort did Tiger Woods actually put to have the 2.7 performance difference? I mean, how many more hours has he had to practice? Or how much bigger is Tiger Woods' talent compared to number 10? So, in my opinion, the author left some information to make us believe that this is something easy to see and straightforward. And I believe this is misleading because this earnings difference here is not about the 1.9 strokes, but rather how much effort Tiger Woods put into practicing and becoming the number one pro golf player. So this reinforces the idea that it's not easy to make the compound effect work. It takes effort and it takes time, dedication, and patience and discipline. The author says we have to try to make up lack of innate ability by hard work. But how far can we really go by doing that? Of course, saying that you just lack the ability to do something and giving up before you even try or committing yourself for some period of time is just a lame excuse, right? And you give excuses because you're afraid or because you're lazy or because you don't want to get out of your comfort zone. So the main idea here is to risk and dare and experiment with what you really want to do. If it takes effort, so be it. Dedicate yourself, do your best and more to try to accomplish your goals. This is something I found very interesting. The author says that we must have solid motivations, the whole why power idea. Anything will do as long as it's legal and moral. So if you want to get rich because you want to help children get their education or help war fugitives or whatever, this motivation is just as good as getting rich because your dad said that you'll be a failure and you'll never get rich and you will never accomplish anything in life. So you want to get back at him and prove yourself, prove that you can be something. And from a moral standpoint, this is something bad. What's driving you is this sense of revenge or this sense of proving your dad wrong. But here, as long as the motivation is legal and moral, it doesn't matter. Actually, the so-called bad motivations are like rocket fuel, and good motivations are like renewable energy. So rocket fuel is dangerous, it needs to be handled with care, but it will provide these bursts of energy, whereas the renewable energy sources are constant and, harmless and peaceful. So as long as you have solid motivations, no matter what they are, you'll be able to keep your consistency, changing your habits. Very important, you are 100% responsible for yourself. This is something I liked very much because, this is true. Even though we can't control what other people will do to us and how they will act toward us, we can control how we respond to them. We can control how we respond to external events. We can control how we deal with all of these things. So if we are sad, it's our fault. If we are happy, it's our fault. If someone is taking advantage of us, it's our fault. If we are making a lot of money in our latest business venture, it's our fault. So owning your choices really is something very powerful because this means you are in control. The author mentions the attraction principle, which says that we will get what we look for. So we are constantly bombarded with a lot of information through our senses, and our brain filters this information for us so we don't get crazy. And if you are thinking about something negative, the brain will prioritize passing through negative things through this filter. But if we are thinking about positive things, the brain will prioritize the positive input. Based on the attraction principle, positive attracts positive. If we think about something good, we are more likely to get something good back because we will be actively looking for it. And our brain will filter this information for us, making us recognize these good opportunities. This means that a lot of good and bad happens all around us, but we can choose to see what we want. And if you are looking for new business opportunities, new relationship opportunities, try to really look for it by thinking about it, instead of focusing on what can go wrong. You guys know about instant and delayed gratification from our previous finance videos. So people who like to save money practice delayed gratification. They are willing to sacrifice and compromise today in order to have more money in the future. And on the other hand, people who spend a lot of money carelessly are concerned about instant gratification or instant rewards. So how this whole concept hurts the compound effect. On one hand, bad habits won't hurt us now, so why care? If I eat fast food today, I won't have a heart attack immediately. It will probably take a couple of years. On the other hand, good habits will not benefit us in a long time, so why bother? If I start to run every day today, I will only see the benefits from this activity in 1 year or 5 years, who knows? This whole concept of gratification makes it easier for us to come up with excuses to delay doing what we have to do. And just like in finances and saving money, you have to think about it yourself and consider what is worth and what will work best for you. The compound effect is always at work. What the author calls the compound effect, or this tendency of choices becoming habits and getting into a rhythm and getting you into a flow state, this is always at work. So if you start making bad choices and you develop bad habits, all these actions will pile up in the future and they will be bad for you. For example, if you start drinking once a week and then you start drinking every day after dinner, then you drink after every meal. After some time, you'll be drinking at 8 a.m. and not give a damn about it. This is an example of a bad habit getting the best of you. The truth is, everything that becomes a habit in our lives have this powerful effect of becoming easy and effortless. This is what the author calls compound effect. And the longer we wait, the harder it is to cut down bad habits. So make sure you are making good choices and starting with good habits so the compound effect is working for you. The real cost of giving up is losing momentum. So say you have this habit of working out 5 times a week, and maybe it's not even your fault. You get sick and you have to go through surgery, so you can't exercise for, I don't know, a whole month. After this month you don't exercise, you are not only losing the benefits of exercising through this month, but you're also losing all the momentum you have built up through the time. So this is where the importance of motivation comes into play. If you are highly motivated or if you enjoy exercising, you will not care about re-implementing this habit in your life. You won't care about starting to work out again on a regular basis. Of course, at first slowly because you're going through recovery, and then after some months, you're back at your old routine. But if your motivation is not good enough, or if you're doing something that you don't like, you don't feel any pleasure in it, it will be that hard to get back to doing it on a regular basis, to make it become a habit again. So, so you'll be losing all the momentum you've built through all this time. And notice that I gave you a really extreme example, having surgery. Many people will give some lame excuses to quit their activities or not do this just this once, or not to do what they have to do just this once, Oh, I'm so tired today, I don't want to do it. Or, oh, I've worked so hard the whole week, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, it's just this time. But it's when you start wavering and when you hit a wall that the moment of truth comes. And this is the opportunity you have to really prove yourself. At this time, you should be doing what other people wouldn't do. Your friends, your competition, and especially your old self. So every time you hit a wall and you climb that wall, you are becoming something bigger, you're becoming something better. And this is the only reliable way to reach success. That's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think about this book in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this review and analysis. Thank you very much for your time and see you later. Bye bye.